everyone. So glad you're joining us today. My gratitude today goes to our band, our timekeeper, our practitioners, and our sound and live stream staff who were able to pivot with us and bring you this virtual live stream while the state of Washington undergoes another surge. So glad you're here, and because our wonderful band is here, let's take you over to them and have some lovely music.
I am blessed, I am blessed, every day of my life. I am blessed, 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 blessed. When I wake up in the morning, or I lay my head to rest, I am blessed, I am blessed, I am free, I am free, I am free, every day of my life, I am free, 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 free. When I wake up in the morning, or I lay my head to rest, I am free, I am free. All right, sing with us. I am blessed, I am blessed, I am blessed, every day of my life. I am blessed, 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 blessed. When I wake up in the morning, or I lay my head to rest, I am blessed, 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 I am blessed. Well, good morning, friends. We're so glad you're here tuned in. Let us know where you're from if you're out there tuned in today, and we'd love to hear from you. All right. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. 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 My soul is welcome
Thank you. It's good to be here today, knowing we are connected. I'm Heidi, and I welcome you to the Center for Spiritual Living Bellingham today. Welcome to this prayer that I offer you. I know that I am connected to all that is, to everyone out there, all you fellow humans who are listening today, to my inner self, to that spirit within. I'm so grateful to be alive in this human body. The vitality that runs through me, the energy that is in me, I recognize as spirit. I recognize the light within myself, and I let it shine outwards. And I see your light shining. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you. And so it is.
Oh, let me feel inner peace from my center, from the center of me. Oh, let me feel inner peace from my center, from the center of me. Let's sing that again. Oh, let me feel inner peace from my center, from the center of me. Oh, let me feel inner peace from my center, from the center of me. My heart is open, I am awake. There is a knowing of love, love, love. My heart is open, I am awake. There is a knowing of love, love, love. Oh, let me feel inner peace from my center, from the center of me. Oh, let me feel inner peace from my center, from the center of me. Oh, let me feel inner peace from my center, from the center of me. My heart is open. My heart is open, I am awake. There is a knowing of love, love, love. My heart is open, I am awake. There is a knowing of love, love, love. My heart is open, I am awake. There is a knowing of love, love, love. Oh, let me feel inner peace from my center, from the center of me. designed to perfection. All of me beautiful and sacred. All of me a wonder, expression of the infinite. All of me pure light divine. All of me designed to perfection. All of me designed to perfection. All of me beautiful and sacred. All of me beautiful and sacred, a wonder, expression of the infinite. All of me a wonder, expression of the infinite. All of me pure light divine. All is love, all is light. All is love, all is light. All is love, all is light. All of me pure light divine. All of me designed to perfection. All of me beautiful and sacred. All of me a wonder, expression of the infinite. All of me pure light divine. All is love. All is love. All is light. All is love. All is light. All is love. All is light. All of me pure light divine. All of me pure light divine.
Whew, thank you. Let's get this on right. There we go. So welcome again. Yes. All right. We are celebrating a yearly theme that I think is so appropriate for now, grounded in spirit. Why is that appropriate? Because the pandemic is ongoing, and many of us were kind of holding on, thinking that at some point within like last year, we would all be just fine and everything would be okay and we'd all be back doing the things that we wanted to do. And that just simply hasn't panned out for a lot of us. And so for me and for many of the people who are part of our center, becoming grounded in spirit means that we throw our roots deep down into the essence of our true nature and hold there. We hold the center of our being, the truth of who we are. And so all year we're going to be speaking about different aspects of that. And this month I decided we wanted to start where we are, which is the theme for the month. Because, you know, to be really grounded, we have to be really honest with where we are and how we are and what we're doing. And so the talk today is entitled, What Are You Telling Yourself? And so this is one of those moments where you get to be really, really honest in the comfort of your own living room, because you won't be surrounded by people here, and you can just really think about what is the internal dialogue that you are telling yourself. And Angeles Arian, the incredible anthropologist and amazing psychotherapist, has a quote that I used for today. She said, is my self-worth as strong as my self-critic? If I can answer yes to that question, then I am ready to face the gifts of this day. But for many of us, we can't answer yes if we're really telling the truth. The self-critic shows up over and over and over and over in everything we do and everything we say. We second-guess ourselves. We review dialogues that we had, looking for errors because we know they must be there. We criticize our body. We criticize our everything. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about what the science of mind has to say about what we're telling ourselves. And so I'm going to start with a story that many of you have heard, but I do really think that there's value in hearing a story more than once. And this story is called The Wish-Fulfilling Tree. It has many versions, but it comes out of the Middle East. And so we're going to set the stage by saying that our wanderer is wandering in the desert, and she finds herself lost. The desert is not a good place to be lost. And so she's wandered for days, and her food supply is gone, her water is almost gone, and she still has not found her way. And she's at that point in her journey where she begins to see mirages because she's starting to be extremely dehydrated and hungry. There's a lot of metaphors in this story. Just think for a minute about wandering, lost, mirages. But anyway, back to the storyline. So she constantly is seeing the sheen of water, and then she'll go towards that, and of course we know that it dissipates as we get closer to it. And so after traveling for a while and seeing many of these mirages, she sees another one, and at this point she's despairing, and she thinks to herself, well, this is just another one of those, but it's not. And as she grows closer, she realizes that it's real. And as she takes step after step, she begins to see trees, palm trees, and she sees birds, and she sees this incredible lagoon oasis there, and she's stumbling to get there because it's such a sanctuary for her spirit, and there's water, and she literally throws herself into the lagoon and is splashing around and drinking water, and she's so relieved, and the heat of the desert is relieved as well. And so she finally wades out of that lagoon and finds herself near a palm tree. And so she sits down on the ground and leans her back against the tree, and she's so relieved and so happy that she's at least found, at least for a time, this place of safety, that she kind of falls into a daze of relief. And she begins to think, as we all do, and she begins to think, oh, I am so happy to be here. And she starts thinking about her life before she entered the desert, and she thought about her home and her house, and how at this time of day she would be fixing herself a wonderful glass of iced tea. And she can almost taste the lemon and the sugar and the tea, and feel the ice cubes clinking in the glass. And she's just enamored of this vision of herself sitting on her porch with this glass of iced tea, and she puts her arms down and touches something frosty and cold, and she looks down, and it's a glass of iced tea with lemon. And she puts it to her lips, and it has sugar, and it's cold, and it's just the way she was envisioning it. She drinks the whole glass down. She's so amazed at this gift, and she's drinking it in, and she thinks, and then in my house, what I would be doing is getting up and going inside, and I would be preparing this beautiful meal for myself, and I would have all of my favorite foods, and I would be in the kitchen, and the smells, and she's sitting there against that palm tree, smelling those smells, and seeing the jambalaya in the pot, and listening to the rice cooking, and seeing this incredible meal she's preparing for herself, the pecan pie over on the windowsill, and everything is just as it should be. And as she's thinking about this, she's thinking, but I would want to be sharing this meal with my beloved. And she looks up, and poof, there is a table spread with the pie and the rice and the jambalaya, and across the table is one of the most beautiful people that she's ever seen. Beautiful on the inside out, just everything. And she stands up and she moves toward the table thinking this has to be another mirage. And no, it's solid, and there's her favorite tablecloth, and there's her dishes, and there's this person, and there's chairs, and they sit down and have this beautiful meal and this incredible conversation, and things are going along so beautifully, and they're talking together and laughing, and so much food and so much beauty. And she thinks to herself, this is just incredible. I wish my house was here so that I could take this person into my living room and we could be comfortable. And poof, her house is there. And so they get up from the table and they go over to the living room, and they're sitting, and she says, I want to show this beloved my favorite book of poetry. Okay, I'm making all this up, but favorite book of poetry. And she gets the book and she starts reading from the book, and this beloved begins to recite with her the very same poem that's her favorite one. It's amazing. And so they feel so connected, and she thinks, honestly, this is just a miracle. And then she thinks, wait a minute. Just a little while ago, I was trudging through the sand in the desert. I'd been lost for days and had no food and almost no water. And wait a minute, what's happening here? This has got to be the work of a demon. And poof, a demon, a really huge demon, appears right in front of her fireplace, and it has a huge mouth with this slobber coming out and these huge teeth, and she thinks, oh no, it's going to eat me. The end. Right? So that's the story. Okay, Andrea version. But that's essentially the story. And it's told as a teaching story to folks that are on the spiritual path in the Middle East, and you're hearing it now, because it illustrates the power that we have in the way we think about life and how we dream about life and what we believe our perceptual field is telling us. And so the story is very powerful, and to teach us about the potency of the mind that we carry around with us. And I use mind rather than brain, because the mind has more components than just the gray cells there that are part of our brain. The mind includes all of our history. It includes all of the ideas, beliefs, and perceptions that we have taken in and believed to be true, some of which are beautiful oases of thought, and some are not. And, in the science of mind philosophy, what we start with, the starting point of our learning, is to begin to pay attention to what the mind is telling us. One of my therapist gurus, his name is Shad Helmstetter, wrote a little tiny book years and years and decades ago called What to Say to Yourself When You Talk to Yourself, or something like that. And one of the things that he over and over would tell his clients is he would say, you become what you think about most. you become what you think about most. And so if your mind is filled with oases of thought, beliefs, and perceptions, where you're looking at the world through a lens that you've developed that sees God in all things, sees spirit alive in the world, sees the natural world as the outpicturing of the beauty of a spirit that dwells within all of us and all things, you have one experience. And if you see the world as filled with evil and filled with demonic forces, alive, trying to steal our liberty and our freedom, and you see that the only way out is through following a very rigid path, and that's what you perceive. Your life becomes what you think about most. If you're filled with torment, more. If you're filled with delight, more. And is it that simple? Pretty much it's that simple, people, really. However, we're very complex beings, and so we have a complex of thoughts, some of them oases, some of them not. And so we become what we think about the most. And we've certainly seen that in our society and in our world. And so the task of folks in the science of mind walking a spiritual path is to become very, very aware of what we are focusing on most, and to begin to change by using our conscious mind to change our thoughts and change the course of our thoughts to something else. So for me, there are two things to focus on when we're seeking on the spiritual path to really change our life and the way we perceive the world, ourselves, and others. The first I'm going to call context. Context. So what I mean by that is this. If you will, humor me. Wherever you are, whether you're in your car or watching from your living room or here in the room with me, take a moment just now as I'm speaking and just get very, very quiet. Put the phone down unless you're watching me and just really get quiet. And as you get quiet, see if you can notice that behind the screen of life events, behind the coming and going, can you sense a presence? Can you sense that right here and right now, right where you are, there is something that I call presence that is with you? We don't have to name it. We don't have to put jargon on top of it. We don't have to say anything about it, because whatever we call it, it just is. And this just isness, this presence, is unaffected by anything. And that is the core of our nature. That is the root of our being. When we say grounded in spirit, that's what we're talking about, is coming to a place of stillness long enough to feel this context, this presence. And it abides. It is there all the time. It's unaffected by the flow of internal dialogue. It's unaffected by outer circumstances. It's unaffected by anything, because it is just its own crystalline presence in our lives. And so one of the things we train ourselves in the science of mind is to get still enough and awake enough to connect with that unshakable, totally all that is present. Presence. That. Because when we stand there, that means a couple of things. First, we've grounded into something that is always there. But more than that, we're awake. And I mean that in the sense that we've stepped outside the perceptual field for a minute, the ideation, the self-esteem issues, the current events, all of it. We've stepped outside of that for a moment, and we're simply awake to something that is eternal, that is here, that is us. And that's a very, very potent context to begin to change our lives from. So once we're there, The next thing we pay attention to is content. Yeah, we have to pay attention to the content of our mind, the perceptions, the ideas, the habitual ways we talk, the habitual ways we act. We have to really catch ourselves in the midst of that, because the habituated patterns of thinking and speaking and acting are often based in something that is no longer really the truth of what we know. It's from way back, some of this. It's habitual. We learned from our parents' knees to say certain phrases and to think certain things and to act in certain ways. Some of it oases, some of it not. So we say things that if we're really awake, we begin to catch. Like an arrow that we're about to let fly, and we catch ourselves before we fly that arrow and say, wait, that's not true for me. That's not true. I don't really think that. I don't really believe whatever that habitual way of talking is. I'm just saying it because I'm used to saying it. I'm just repeating something over and over that actually affirms that my life becomes that. So we catch our thoughts, we catch our habitual thinking, we catch our habitual actions, and we make a new decision. And sometimes we make it over and over and over again until it changes. And it does. It's not that it won't, but it's consistency over time that really rules in this area. When we're working with content, we have to be very consistent in listening to ourselves, watching ourselves, thinking about what we're thinking. And this is all the activity of the awakened mind. This activity is really the point of spiritual practice. It's the point of meditation, prayer, spiritual study. It's the point of mindfulness, because all of these things allow us to stay in that context of being present with what's present. That all that isness, so that we can remain awake in the midst of living our lives out in a new way. For me, one of the ways that we can work with content as well as really being mindful of thought, speech, and deed is by asking ourselves a question that this particular poem points to. And this is a poem by Raymond Carver, incredible poet, named Late Fragment. And did you get what you wanted from this life? Even so, I did. And what did you want? To call myself beloved, to feel myself beloved on the earth. I think that's a beautiful short poem that points to the other part of content. We have to know what we want. You know, it's impossible to be consistent over time if we don't have an aim that we're working with. So the aim that Raymond Carver is pointing to is this overarching desire that we want to have fulfilled before we leave the planet, before we drop the body. Do you know what that is for you? The chances are good. What this poem indicates is it's not a thing. It's a way of feeling and being beloved by the earth, feeling beloved. So, what do you want before you leave this planet? Take the time to really get clear. Maybe right after the service today, sit down with a journal and just start asking, what do I want? Not things, those are great, but the inner, how do I want to feel when I leave the planet, whether I'm 18 or 81? What do I want to feel? What do I want from my life? You find that and then consistently start paying attention to the context and the content, and you're golden. You'll get there, no doubt. So please join me in a prayer for that. And then we'll invite our band back up and we'll have a little music before we close out with some announcements. So here and now, in this beautiful moment, return again with me to stillness. And feel all around as far as you can feel. and feel all the way in the presence of something vast and intelligent, often called the I Am. This I Am, this presence, is operating through each of us. It is completely and wholly supportive of anything and everything that we would choose in life. It always says yes. And in this moment, as I become crystal clear about how I want to live and how I want to feel in this one wild and precious life of mine, this presence, with all that it contains, says yes and begins to turn that desire into reality for me, for you. I am led by this desire and the yes of the Infinite One in ways that I can't even imagine now. And it is my job and privilege to say yes back, to unfold my life in a full-hearted, full-throated yes to whatever is in my path that leads me to my deeply held desire. I trust this, even if it takes me in directions unexpected. I trust this, and I'm so grateful to be aware of context and content moving forward. Say with me, and so it is. Thank you. All right, I'm going to invite everybody up, and we're going to have one last final song before I take you into the announcements. This is Robin, Amber, and Kathy joining us today.
Well, speaking of So It Is, this song is called So It Is. Blessed day, I am thankful, grateful heart, I am whole. Glory be to the power of this mind that I know. So full praise to the wonder, freedom, sing a joyful song, calling love to the center, lifting all is a one. I'll sing it now. So it is anything I dream. It is singing now. So it is think bigger now. So it is I'm holding this vision of peace, knowing a world of harmony, calling love to the center, lifting all. We are free. Blessed day, I am thankful, grateful heart, I am whole. Glory be to the power of this mind that I know. So full praise to the wonder, freedom, sing a joyful song, calling love to the center, lifting all is the one. I sing it now. So it is anything I dream. It is singing now. So it is think bigger now. So it is I'm holding this vision of peace, knowing a world of harmony, calling love to the center, lifting all. We are free. I sing it now. So it is anything I dream. It is singing now. So it is think bigger now. So it is I'm holding this vision of peace, knowing a world of harmony, calling love to the center, lifting all. We are free. Calling love to the center, lifting all. We are free.
All right, so I'm going to give you a couple of announcements, and one is not in the announcements that you'll find on our website because it's just a new creation that just started. Our practitioner unit, when we had to pivot into virtual land again, I decided that we wanted to provide an opportunity for you to gather before the service. So from 10:10 until 10:20, you are invited to visit the pre-service Zoom gathering room where you can meet with people that you love, say hi, talk a little bit before the service. And then at 10:20, we're going to invite everybody to shut down the Zoom room and head on over to the live stream. So this starts next Sunday, and the Zoom link is on our website, so you can find it right there. Go to that room at 10:10 and have a few minutes to just say hi to everybody. It's a really nice way to connect, even though we can't connect here in the sanctuary itself. So take advantage of that. Our women's circle is today, and like so many other things, we've had to pivot that into a Zoom-only experience, and so you'll find the Zoom link on our website. And we're inviting women who would like to attend to bring us two things. We're going to be talking about our own spiritual practice, or lack thereof. And so we're inviting you to bring one item for all of us to see that represents your spiritual practice, and one item that represents an obstacle that you have to doing that practice. And we'll show each other those items as part of our overall meeting, which starts at noon today in the Zoom room. We also have a few things that you might want to participate in. Starting next Sunday at noon, we're going to be having a series of workshops that are absolutely free to you. They're offered on Zoom, and they have to do with the fundamental ideas of the science of mind and how you can, like I said today, apply them so that you can have the life that you would like, and also so that we can have the life of the planet that we like. So the first workshop is called The Thing Itself, and it has to do with presence. It has to do with spirit and the presence of spirit in our lives. And these workshops are all from noon to 1:30, and they're very interactive. So it's not just someone talking at you, but rather an opportunity to ask questions, to talk in small group, and do all kinds of things. So that one starts next Sunday, and then there's one following on the 30th that has to do with the way spirit works through all of us. In other words, the law of cause and effect. And then from there we go out from there into other free workshops. For a series of 5, we take a break on the 2nd and 3rd weekends of February because of the men's group and the women's group. So we'd love you to join us for one or for all of them, and really give yourself the gift in this new beginning of the year to get clear about how you want your life to be and what you're thinking about the most, because that's what's creating your life. So that's all happening. And then we have a couple of other things that we wanted to let you know about as well. Our women's retreat filled up very, very quickly, probably because we're going to be working with Mary Oliver. But we do want you to know that if you're a camper, there are still a couple of camping spots left that you can register for online on our website. And we also have a waiting list for those of you who are not campers but would like to be considered in case someone has to drop off. Now, the retreats are requiring proof of vaccination or a negative PCR laboratory test, and then we'll be rapid tested when we arrive there. So just know that in advance, and that we also will be wearing masks for most of the time that we're there. So that's happening. And then wanted to let you know about a new class that's starting February 5th. That's a Saturday, and it's being led by one of our practitioners, Joanne Allison, and it's called Prosperity Plus, and it is a video Zoom offering. She is facilitating this magnificent 7-week course that allows you to look deeply at your wishes and your dreams and your hopes for your life, and then practice different practices that will bring them fully into manifestation. So a real opportunity for you. You can find out more information on our website about how that all goes down, and you can register there as well. The office is going to be closed next week because Clara is attending a wedding, and I am attending the annual convention for Centers for Spiritual Living. And so I'll be back on the 24th, which is a Monday, and we hope that if you have any needs, you can either contact a practitioner or wait till one of us gets back. So there's that. I think that's all for now. I think that's plenty. But I wish you good health, and I'm grateful that you're here in the virtual room that we've created. Blessings to you. We'll see you next week.